evening lecture. This is a repetition of what I covered in the morning lecture, and hopefully, if you join me as a full-time student, this would be your revision. So let's see, do I have anybody in the in class right now in our MS Teams? Is there anybody out there? Say hello, unmute.
Hi, sir.
Hello, is that Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's get to it. We are continuing with our ISIFA Enterprise Systems Education for Africa curriculum, and we will be covering the SAP S4HANA syllabus, and the syllabus that we're going to talk about is procure to pay, right? So we are actually going to do the practical work associated with the procure to pay workshop. And in order to do that, you would have had to log into your, when I say logged into S4HANA, right? So let's log into S4HANA and let's see if you remember how to do that. Mr. Maniram, keep your mic on. Are you able to log in, Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So did you go and try out the apps?
Yeah, I browsed through it. I went through a few things. I saw like the features of different functions, like there's the accounting part, the warehouse part, there's even a logistics, a small part for logistics and stuff like that. It has like all the functions, like business
Great,
functions, all the
great,
essentials, and it's very sophisticated, and yeah,
great.
it's user friendly as well.
Okay, so today we're going to play around with. Oh, that's lovely, lovely. So let me just sign out and let me just sign in as a revision for you and for the students. By the way, when I have access to the master account, I'll be able to check whether you are indeed logging in or not. So my login is capital letter ZMB-000, and I'm not going to tell you my password. And my client is 444. I'm going to log in. So Mr. Maniram, what would be your username? Do you remember?
ZMB 050.
Good. And what's Miss Dr. R. Maniram's username?
I think I remember 051, ZMB
Nice.
051.
Good. I
Yeah.
don't see her in the lecture. Why is she bunking my lecture? Okay, so let's log in. All right, so there we go. I'm going to log in. And what I will do today is I'm going to go straight into the practical work. And I'm going to come back to the theory, right? So here's my, let's keep the notes on the left hand, on the right hand side. And I'm going to keep my, all right, so let's see what the notes has to say. Now, all these notes, Mr. Mariam, is in your MS Teams class. Let me go and quickly show you where this is, right? Or did you have a look at your MS Teams?
There's a new document here.
Yeah, the MS Teams. Did you have a look at it?
Yeah, I had a look at it. I'm just gonna print it out, and then I can be able to read it properly, and then I'll
Good idea.
follow
Good
whatever it
idea.
says.
Good idea. So let me show. Let's go and have a look at that. Let's
Yeah.
see what that is. Let me go and share that. And let's go to share my screen. And when I'm sharing my screen, I want you to see the MS Teams classroom. Right. So, Mr. Maniram, there's your classroom, your MS Teams. You have the lecture recordings. I generally post my lecture recordings in here. So if you
Yes, sir.
miss a lecture, please go and have a look at it.
Yes,
and it's
sir.
also on the YouTube. Are you aware of that,
Yeah, the YouTube is where I watch most of your
Mr.
lectures.
Maniram?
Yes, sir. YouTube is where I watch like most of your
Did I lose
lectures.
you?
Hello?
Keep your mic on. Are you there?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on.
great. So what I've done is, okay, great. I would have, well, I think I uploaded it. I haven't. So, oh, great. And I posted it to the WhatsApp group. Are you part of the WhatsApp group,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Money? Good.
Yes,
Good.
sir. I'm part of
Right.
the WhatsApp group.
There's the PDF. There's a channel called PDFs. Well, good, good. I haven't updated to PDF channel, but everything is available on the general channel. So if you go to the general channel and you click on files, and you click on the CFA resources,
Yes.
this is where you'll find all the notes that I've done, right? So it'll be a good idea if you, like you said, print it and you have access to that. So there's the assignment. I'm still giving some students a chance to log in. There's a navigation, how you navigate in S4HANA. And today we are doing the short course manual, the Zambikes company. So your username ZMB050 is actually a company code for Zambikes.
Yes, sir.
All right. You got that when I say the association, why I said ZMB.
Yeah, Zambikes.
Yeah. Right, Zambikes. Now, with the other students, we actually watched the video in class. Did you have a chance to watch the Zambikes company?
No, I didn't get around watching it as yet. It's that case study.
Yes, the case study.
Yeah,
Please, if you can watch the Zambikes, because that will explain to you the company procedures, what they are doing, what do they sell, and basically it'll give you an idea of what we are doing. But for our benefit, let's just quickly go in. Let me go and quickly share this with you so that you have a view of what we are doing. Right, so let's see, where's the Zambikes? Right, so Zambikes is a company and they make bicycles out of bamboo. Are you able to see this, Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir, I can see it.
Right, so there's the examples of the bicycle. So what I'd like is if you could read this, please. The company, it started in 2007, and they make bicycles, and then they moved into making a Zambulance, which is basically,
yes.
yeah, an ambulance, right? So in Zambia, they were able to transport people, and they hooked this up with onto the bike. Then they also had a Zamcart, and this company is what we're going to use to explain the concepts in S4HANA, right? The Fiori Launchpad environment.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're not starting from brand new. There is a company. They are making bicycles out of bamboo, and we want to basically learn how this ERP, SAP, S4HANA, Fiori Launchpad environment works. And we need to have a dummy company, not necessarily a dummy company, but a company that we can explore the accounting procedures, their purchasing and their sales and the marketing and all that goes with it. So that's the reason for us having this Zambikes company. And you,
Yes,
as
sir.
a Zambikes user, you have been given exclusive rights to their transactions, to their materials, to their sales, and the rest of the company resources. So sometimes you'll be an accountant, sometimes you'll be a sales rep, sometimes you'll want to capture the invoice, and so forth, right? And don't worry, you won't mess up their accounting procedures and records, because none of this is being updated to the server. That was a joke. Okay. That was a joke. Right. Anyway, so let's go to this first option here, right? We're going to under the procedure to, right? So this one in this workshop. So I'm jumping straight into the practical aspect so that you'll get to see and understand what the theory is about. There's a whole lot of theory that I have to cover with you, but that you can read, and when you are reading it, hopefully you'd be able to grasp the concepts that I'm talking about. So in this workshop, we will display a master record, create a purchasing information record, a purchasing order, a goods receipt, and an invoice, and post a supplier. Is this what I did with my students this morning? Yes, workshop 1, right? Before you log in, you should be familiar with the navigation in S4HANA system. So you should be able to log in and you should be able to navigate and, well, explore the apps. What we're going to be doing is display a supplier master data. And this example of get a break, it's one of the components in the bicycle. And we'll see how far we get, right? Okay. You with me, Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir.
Right, so we're going to understand and perform a procurement cycle. Procurement is actually another big word for the word. Any idea what procurement, a simpler term or simpler word? If I want to procure something. Procurement.
I know what it means, but I know what it's like. One of those words, I know what it means, but like.
Okay, I'm buying something, right?
Yeah.
So in order to execute it, there's the scenario. You will need to take on different roles. You need to be the purchaser, the employee, an accountant. Now, for now, we have the following people in this company. Viera Funjika, she's the finance manager. Wyson Nkwazi, he's the production supervisor. Benjamin Banda, he's the warehouse factory employee. Margaret, she's the admin and inventory clerk. So I'm going to give, these notes are available for you. You can read it at your leisure. The procure to pay process starts with a displaying of master data records. In the first semester, we covered the theory behind ERP systems. And one of the records we had was the master data records. A supplier, and the supplier's name is Get a Break. He obviously provides brakes for the bicycles. He has to they will display there. Raw material master record is displayed, and the raw materials is brake kit. From the information, the raw materials, the supplier master record, the system creates a purchasing info record, you create a purchase order, and all this is done, you can think of it in the background. So when you make a purchase of, let's say, a brake kit for the bicycle, and you're manufacturing 10 bicycles, you'll need 10 brake kits. You'll have to pay for those brake kits to Get a Break, the supplier. Money will come out of your account, go into their account. Your asset will increase. All that is taking place in this ERP system, right? So there's the diagrammatic representation, the inventory administrator. There's the finance manager has to create the purchase order. You have to pay for it, and the bank and the goods is received. So we're going to jump straight into the displaying the master data. Get a Break is a supplier. And I'm going to keep this on one side of my screen. And I'm going to keep the S4HANA available on the other side, right? Now, in order to do this, it says to display an existing supplier, and the supplier that we're going to display is Get a Break supplier. I know it sounds a bit weird, but Get a Break, right? That was also a joke, Mr. Maniram.
Yes, sir.
Get a Break, right? Okay. Right. Now, there's my magnifying glass. I can click on the magnifying glass, and I need to go and access the app called Maintain Business Partner. So I look for the MAIN, maintain. Maintain, come on, business. Ah, there we go, maintain business partner. Now it came up so fast because earlier on in the lecture, when I worked with it, right? So Get a Brake is a supplier, and obviously they supply brakes for the bicycle. Let's see what happens then. Click the app to open the maintain business partner screen. So there's the maintain business partner screen that I'm opening up. On the left menu panel, select the following drop-down list options for the corresponding fields. There's my drop-down menu. Under Find, I can find a business partner, persons, organizations, or groups. By supplier number, by customer number, external number, name number, or I can search for something. According to the instructions, it says next to the business partner, there's business partner. Next to the supplier number, there's a supplier number. Then click supplier number field and use either F4 or click on the magnifying glass. So let's look for the magnifying glass under supplier number. Supplier number, there's supplier number, and there's the magnifying glass. And it says the following screen will appear. There's a screen, right? There's a screen out there. Every time the instruction asks you to type in ###, please enter the last 3 digits from your SAP number. What's your SAP number, Mr. Maniram?
050.
Correct. Now my SAP number is 000. So I'm going to enter in 000, right? And then it says, I need to, right, so now that I'm inside my account number of the vendor or the creditor, to make learning experiences, we've duplicated the master data so that each student, well, we have 100 students that I have available, has your own data set. You will also have your own data set to play around with, and you won't upset anybody else's, right? However, if this was a real company, which it is, and this is a real SAP S4HANA, you wouldn't want there to be duplicates of copies of the data. You'd want to have one copy, and that will be updating the database.
Yes, sir.
Now it says, yeah. So now you with me now, Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what are we are choose the supplier by country, company code. This is so, the writing is so tiny, you barely see it. Let's go 100%. Yeah, that's kind of okay. Right. So my vendor, I've done that. Right now we want to go for Lusaka Get a Brake. There's my Get a Brake. There's Get a Brake here. There's Get a Brake. Now that's a supplier, and the vendor code is 139005, and the company code is ZM00, Zambikes, right? And when I'm happy with that, I click on copy it, right? On my. Now it gives me the supplier number, and it gives me the following. Oh, now I can't see the rest of this. Click Start to search for your supplier. Your supplier will appear in the search results below of the left menu. Let's start, and it should give me Get a Brake, which is my partner. Now you must remember, because I'm building bicycles, I'm going to have various different suppliers providing me with various different components for my bicycle. So maybe I'll have tires, I'll have brakes, I'll have cable, I'll have the handlebar, and maybe I'll have a bell, and there'll be different suppliers that will provide me with all the different materials so that I could ultimately put up or manufacture this bicycle. So far, so good, Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir. Makes sense.
Makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me if you can see my screen, because the red, I only know when you can see the screen is if I see that red little thingy out.
Yeah, I can see the screen.
You can see both parts of the screen.
I can
Now
see
you should be.
I can see the PDF. Yeah, now I can see both.
Yes, you're supposed to have seen both from the word go. Let me
No,
do it
before
again for
I
you.
was only I could only see the thing, the work guide PDF.
Let me go back and
Now,
do it, right? So I needed to have searched under the supplier number
right?
and close that, sorry. Under supplier number, right, I did that. That's where I searched. I found this out. It's out here. Under the vendor, the supplier number, I found, I looked for it. I looked. I'm not sure why it's giving me that. The company, it's giving me a weird one now. It didn't give it to me before. Now it's giving me other suppliers that I want. I don't want tires and wires. I wanted get a break. Let's do it again, right? Let's exit and do it again. I want you to see this in our work, see this working. We go and search for the app, maintain, M-A-T-A-I-N, maintain a business partner, right? And then I go to supplier number. I click on my, and it says, right. So I entered in my username. Now you're able to see that, Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir.
Right, and I'm going to go for get a break, right?
Yes.
That's my supplier. I could have went for tires and wires, steel lights, screws and nuts, bicycle dynamic, but I'm going to choose get a break, right?
These are like different supplies for
Correct.
Zambike saying different
Yes,
components.
yes, correct,
All right.
correct. Hey, you're getting the grips of it. Good.
Yes,
So
sir.
now I click on the little green tick, and there we go. All right. So now I click on start, and it will look through its database to pick out the supplier, right? And I found one business that does this is in Lusaka. Now there could have been more than one supplying braking components for the bicycle. Because we are learning, we're starting off, we're just having one business partner that we're dealing with. Right, so you're able to see all of them, and you're happy with that. Right, so far so good. I followed it.
Yes, sir.
To display the company code, change the drop-down list option. Where's the drop-down list? Oh, by the way, I've learned something. You got to go step by step. You can't just skip a step or so, right? So I started on this. I clicked on the search. I got get a break. Double-click the supplier to retrieve and display the supply information. Right. So I'm double-clicking and get a break, and there it is. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger for me, and it should show me get a break information. Right? There's get a break information. It's name. All right, it's a business partner. That's the code. It's in Lusaka, Zambia, and let's see if they have an address. No, they don't. Oh, yes, they do. There's it. It's plot number 70, Uno Road, postal code 31925, Lusaka, country Zambia, time code Central African time. Finally, Central African time makes sense to me when I watch SABC News. I communicate in English, and well, I don't have any other details, but I could fill that up, right? And that's the details. You cool with that, Mr. Maniram?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let's go and pull that aside here. All right. Navigate between the tabs to display various information of the data views. You've seen that. I can click on the three little dots, and I can change the address. I can have a look at if I wanted the address, there's the address. If I wanted the status, there it is. It's active. Correct. Let's go. To display the company code of the supplier get a break, change the drop-down list option next to the display in business partner role. F1 vendor. Top out here, I click on it and I change it to F1 vendor. Right, it's a vendor. And now it's going to look through its database and it's going to pull out the company code data associated with get a break. Right. Now, in our first semester, I asked you to create a little app, and you would have used, maybe you did or maybe you didn't, a drop-down menu. There's our drop-down menu. There's our text bar box. Hopefully that would have given you some foundation into using an ERP system or using an application based on drop-down menus and text bar boxes and filling in codes. So far, so good?
Yes,
right,
sir.
let's answer the question. Display supplier master. SAP categorizes supplier master data into 3 groups. What are the 3 groups? Under each group, give one example of master data for the supplier displayed. What is the supplier number and the supplier name displayed? State the country or origin of the selected supplier. State the order currency used for the selected supplier. So let's see if I can help you with a couple of these questions, right? So let's go and look for what is the supplier. Right, first, one of the questions has to deal with state the country or origin of the selected supplier. Where is Get a Break from? Where do they come from?
Zambia.
How do you know that?
They said it's based in Zambia. If you use the country code.
Yeah. But just tell me that you found it over here, right? The country is ZM, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right? Okay. State the order currency used for the selected supplier. What currency do they use? Does it state here? Do they have data? It doesn't state. I'm sure we saw currency somewhere. Did we not see currency?
I don't think so. Well, I didn't see currency. Yeah.
Country. What is the supplier number and supplier name? And what's the business partner number? So you need to go, and I'm not going to give you any more answers. You need to go and play around with this, look through it, and you can answer the question based on going through the processes of displaying Get a Break in Lusaka, the information. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the whole purpose is that this is how I will know that this is how I'll know that you have gone through the exercises in the workshop booklet. The next one, display a raw material master record. So let's look at the question. Let's see how it works. It said, Wyson wants to report on the current moving average price of a brake kit. He's the production supervisor. To display a raw materials master record, use the app Display Material. So I'm going to say Display Material. Display Material. So far, so good, Mr. Myra?
Yes, sir.
Right. So let's do this. We'll do this exercise and that we'll call it tonight, right? As long as you get the grips of how you navigate in SAP S4HANA.
Yes, sir.
It's taking some time. What's the matter? Okay, there we go. It's my network. My network is slow. Right, so I'm going to display material. What's so nice about this, it looks like the tiles on my iPhone. If I had a touch screen laptop, I could have just simply tapped on the screen. Isn't that cool?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that cool?
Yes, sir. Like I think
Oh,
I'm
man.
not. I think there are touchscreen laptops, but like like the
Yeah,
max
they are. I don't have one. But you can
with
run
high-end
this on
laptops.
your tablet as well.
Yeah, but like
Yeah. Your tablet. Right, so let's go and search the magnifying glass. And now it says the following screen is displayed. Remember, what's our objective? He wants to report on the current moving average price of breaker kits. Right, breaker kit is the component for this bicycle. Here's the screen, and there's it out here. It says displayed. Enter MU00 in the plant field. So that's a code that we have to enter in. Plant field, I'm going to enter in MU00. All right, so I entered that in. Enter. All right, before it jumps, let me just. Sorry, let me just go back. Let's go one field at a time. It says enter star hash 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 in the material field. Replace hash 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 with your 3-digit SAP number. Oh boy. Let's go back. Sorry, I'm doing it again. MU00 in the material field. It's going to be star. My user number is 000. The language is English. EN is the code for English. Press find. So there we go. All on under this. There's the bamboo. The materials are bamboo road frame, bamboo touring bike, brake kit, carbon composite wheel assembly chain. If you listen to this afternoon's lecture, we were talking about what is carbon composite. And Tedesca, a girl, knew what is carbon composite. Do you know what is carbon composite and what is the advantage of it?
No, sir. I don't know.
Oh man, Tedesca beat you again. Carbon composite is used in racing cars to make the car, a lot less lighter than having steel. And it's actually stronger in a way. Right?
Okay.
Carbon. Right, so if I want to select, double click on brake kit, there's brake kit there. Right, I got brake kit, and I'm quite happy with that. Right, there's brake kit. And continue. And I can go and select whatever I want according to what selection I decided on, right? In my case, I'm going to select on the basic tab. I want to view the basic tab. It's going to have a look at that. And now it's accessing all of the data from the database. And it's giving me the following data. And I can answer the questions based on this. What is the material number displayed? What is the division of the selected material? What is the purchasing group? If I click on purchasing, it should give me, oh, I need to know the plant. And I'm going to the one in MU00. There's the plant code, and that's what I chose. And I'm going to click on continue. And what's my material group? What's my material group is raw materials. My plant group is MU00, which is the plant in Mangui. My description is brake code. So I'm basically accessing the data from this ERP system, the database. All right, so hopefully now, Mr. Maniram, you'll have an idea of what this Fiori Launchpad apps has to do with. You're not just logging in and playing around, you are actually accessing data from the Zambikes, SAP ERP, S4HANA, Fiori Launchpad program.
All yes, right. It's more in depth.
Now, yes, right. We're going to go a little bit more in depth, right? But for now, I'm going to stop at this point because this is what I covered with the full-time students. Okay.
All right.
You can try the next one on your own, creating a purchase information record.
All right.
All right. Did you see how I did it? I kept it on one side of my screen and I opened up the other.
Nah, with me, I'll need a printout. I'll have problems.
Okay.
Because I can't stay in my eyes for too long. So I prefer the actual hard copy. So it'd be much easier for me, to look at a piece of paper and then look at a full screen through.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, left to you, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll call it a night.
All right.
I'm going to stop the recording and please share this with your students, right?